And no, it's still thinking about starting the live stream. And we're live. It is the Modern Valor Scrum. Sam and Lokesh are here. I have been updating the dates on the part 2 of the MOOC and getting things sorted out. I think things are basically under control. It's going live today. Yeah, I think I'm removing the midterm and the final exam that we needed before because of the Charter Oak credit thing, which I think is no longer running. So yeah, out they go. Bye-bye. I love getting rid of exams. Other things that have happened this morning. I have spent some more time reviewing the sign-up page and the behavior flow around that, and I have actually done a spike of getting a recapture thing implemented, which remarkably seems to be working almost. But yeah, that's in pull request. Yes, and so other things happening today. I don't know what's happening with the RSpec mob. Matt is not online, and it wasn't well yesterday. Although it sounds like Federico might be going to go ahead and run it himself, or take the lead in it. Other things, I've got to go out now, but I'm happy to be back later for the Kempbeck Scrum and NHS Wiki. The NHS report needs to get done. Yes, and various admin things need doing, but I'm not blocked, making some good progress. How are things going with you, Lokesh? It tells me Lokesh is having connectivity issues, which is unfortunate. Hey, Lokesh. Can you hear me okay? Lokesh.
Hi.
Hey,
can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yes. How are things going with you?
Yeah. So I haven't done anything substantial. Just I was searching about other gems which could do extract ID from the YouTube link. Yeah. And find a couple of them like this YouTube ID.
Yes.
But they are not good. They're not better than.
Yeah, and the thing to notice there, if you see, if you go back to the one that you were just on, can you see the date, like here, like are you still there? Yes, you are. That was your old thing. Yeah, see how the updates. It's like it all says 5 years ago, 4 years ago, and so that's always the thing that I look at is how recently was the project committed to, and how many stars and forks does it have. So I think that one that we were looking at is probably the best of the ones that are available.
Yeah. One concern I was having that could it slow the things down, because is it wise to just include a gem to use such a simple functionality?
Well, I think it depends. I mean, I think the other thing is to not want to be prematurely optimizing. I would say, the require process to include a gem is really not much overhead. I think when you are worried about performance, you would sensibly be actually running some comparison tests. But compared to everything else, yeah, I would be very surprised to see anything other than a completely trivial difference, between the running of the code that you put in event instance versus the code running in this gem. I mean, if you click through on the lib directory to the actual code itself, yeah, and you go into youtube-rails.rb there, it's like I would be extremely surprised about there being overhead of any more than a few milliseconds. And I think that the thing to consider is more that if we write code, then we have to maintain it. And if YouTube changes or what have you, then we're kind of on the hook for it, and we've got to support it. Whereas if there's a gem, and particularly if it's an open source gem, then that means that we can get the benefit from submissions from other people. You know, if we do need to make a change, we can, you know, submit to it, and even if the maintainer is not pulling in our pull request, we can point to our own version of the gem on GitHub and so on and so forth. So in general, I would lean towards wanting to prefer a gem for this sort of thing. It also means that the amount of code in our like event instance goes down, right? We have fewer methods. We've modularized and extracted this other stuff. I mean, you know, being able to, the other thing to think about is, I don't know if you've heard of the solid principles.
Yeah.
So like, you know, and the first one being the single responsibility, like we've got this event instance, right? Should it really be the event instance responsibility to work out how to get an ID out of a URL?
And no.
It doesn't seem like it, does it? That seems like we're giving it an extra job to do. Whereas this gem, its job is very specifically to do that. So we've kind of put this in a place where we know that that's the job. And the other thing to consider here as well is that, you know, you've written, you know, a thing that pulls out the ID that works for a couple of the existing URLs that are out there, right?
Yeah.
But there's other ones. And so, you know, if people post in links to YouTube things that are different, then the one that you've written won't work, right? And it will have users potentially complaining about it. It seems like if we've got a gem there that will cover the majority of possible cases, like I think is saying at the bottom, it supports all these different formats, then, you know, for like half a millisecond overhead of hooking in the gem and running it, it definitely seems like the gem is the way to go for me. But you know, I think particularly when the gem is as simple as this, like this is like the gem is like one file, and we can see the code and we can see the tests, and it's you know, it's kind of like, yeah, absolutely, let's do that. If it was, you know, it could be a very complex gem that made lots of network connections and did things, and it took seconds and seconds to do stuff, you know, and you know, we like the gem was so complicated, that would be a warning sign that we'd say, okay, maybe we should, you know, try a different approach. But anyway, sorry, bit of a long answer to your question, but
okay, that makes sense.
Cool. Any other questions or anything else blocking you?
You know, I have to run this a couple of times to make this build pass. It just you know, shows, you know, random failures.
Yeah, yeah, the random JavaScript failures, they're really annoying. Yes, I get them as well. And there's, rather than open and closing, there is a way to like you know, we can to like rerun the thing within semaphore, and I can potentially set you up to do that. Or I mean, the other thing is if you're getting those intermittent errors, you can leave it sort of to me to come in and rerun the thing on the back end without opening and closing them. They are really annoying. I wish we had that's some of the usual subjects. It's really annoying, isn't it? Yeah. But potentially I can give you access to semaphore. Like if you scroll up in that page, no, go back to the page that you were in, the semaphore one, where the build failed. Go to the semaphore page where the build failed. You've got it in the next tab, but you're reloading it. Okay. Yeah, like in here, if you're signed in and if you have the right permissions, then you can, it gives you a button to like cause that to rebuild. So you might need to create a semaphore account, and then if you can maybe create a semaphore account and let me know which email you've done it with, and then potentially I mean, I'll put this in my to-do list. I will give Lokesh permissions to rebuild semaphore. Okay, cool. All right. So I guess, are we done? I noticed my my CPU still kind of giving me. I really don't want to have to buy a new computer. It's so expensive. But if this is going to happen every time I run a Jitsi or screen share or what have you. I don't know if I turn off my camera there. Let's see. Yeah, see, it's interesting. As soon as the camera goes off, the it goes back to normal. I mean, I guess the interesting thing is then can I? Ugh. And then what the sensitive one? There we go. And I guess if it's just on screen share, it's not completely appalling, but trying to look at the activity monitor to see if again what's the thing that's eating up my CPU. Yeah, just screen
that's
share.
very.
Go on.
Yeah, that's very very unexpected because I have a slow machine, but it doesn't spike like yours.
No, I mean I think I've there's some I think there's probably some problem with the graphics thing or something, and it's just one of these annoying things. It's like like yeah, I could take it to Apple and they could like have it for 3 days, and then I would like not be able to program or do get work done for 3 days, and then they would tell me, yeah, we're not sure. And in the past when I've had more money, I've just like said, oh god, I'll just buy a new computer because it's faster and I can just keep on working. But actually, see, now with screen share, as long as I do screen share and it's not the same screen and there's no video, it's basically okay. Okay. Anyway, well, I think that's our Scrum. Anything else? Do you need help on anything else, or you're okay?
No, that's it.
Great. Okay. I will say goodbye for now, and I'll maybe see you later on.
Okay, bye.
Bye.